Do it.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pizza Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got online with Nostalgia Funny Car Driver, Don Hudson. Hey, Don.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How's the weather on Cali?
Oh, dude, it is postcard perfect. Tell all your fans to come out here and call me up and buy a house.
You sell houses?
I am a real estate broker. I own the Remax Coastal Living in Morro Bay, California. I use the money I earn from that to fund this nasty racing habit I have.
But, hold on, I gotta interrupt. So, Don, you say you own real estate in California. I used to live in California in 1994. I've been through a couple earthquakes. I don't want to go back to California. Going to California to visit, yes, but not to live there. I'd rather live in Illinois where it's safer.
Oh, come on. Illinois is the most dangerous place in America, you nut?
No.
California.
Actually,
California is where it's at.
Actually, we don't have earthquakes. We don't have hurricanes. We don't have tornadoes. We don't have major deathly floods.
No, but you guys have the highest murder rate in the free world.
Okay, that's in Chicago. I don't live near Chicago.
Okay, good. Now I'm feeling much better.
No, I live in Wisconsin.
Okay, that's not Illinois.
I live in Wisconsin and Illinois, so in between both. So I'm like right on the border.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you understand?
Yep. I'll send you a snow hat.
Okay.
So Don, what got you started in the drag racing?
Oh my gosh, probably like every guy out there. You know, for me, 40-something years ago, I seen it on Wide World of Sports, Mongoose and Snake, Don Garlits. It was just the baddest thing I'd ever seen. And as a little kid, that's all I ever wanted to do growing up. Have a drag car and just go racing. That's really all I ever wanted to do.
So what year did you start drag racing?
I got my first license to drive top alcohol funny car, which was the first type of race car I ever drove in 1994 at the Frank Holly School in Gainesville, Florida. And before that, I'd been in the early 90s, I started as a crew member for Fred, Bob, and Larry Miner out of Stockton, California on their top alcohol funny car, which was driven by a young guy named Gary Selzy, who went on to be a four-time NHRA champ and just a badass dude.
So when did you start getting into nitro?
We raced top alcohol from like 1996 up until I think I made my last alcohol run in 2009. And I had an opportunity from a local car owner here that owned a race car called the Nitro Angel to do some test and tune in their car. And I got to do that, and I guess that was 2010. And then in I guess it was also 2010, I got to drive Twig Ziegler's Pizza Haven funny car at the March meet. Not a lot of success. I wasn't ready for it, but Twig and his family are good people and gave me a shot. And then so I came home and started putting my own nitro car together.
So when did the Beachcomber come into play?
Beachcomber made its first run in 2013, I believe. I believe it was the California Hot Rod Reunion. First time we took it out with the Plymouth Cuda body on it.
Now, with the name Beachcomber, is that because you're a California surfer or something?
No, I'm just a fat old white guy that sits at home and drinks a lot of wine. No, the Beachcomber is a name that a man named Don Johnson out of Southern California ran from the mid-'60s into the '70s. He had some just badass race cars that were clean and fast, and he had some good guys driving them back then. And when I wanted to put a funny car together, I really wanted something with some nostalgia flair to it, so I reached out to him via social media and asked him permission to use his name and the likeness of his old race cars, and he agreed and put me in touch with John Waldo Glaspie, who was the guy that used to do all the artwork for his cars back in the '60s and '70s, and he drew up the Beachcombers for us.
Now, when you originally started drag racing, was your family involved?
Yeah, my family's been very supportive of me as a drag racer. They know how important it is for me to be involved in this, and my wife is just, she sacrificed a lot for me to be able to do this. So I'm very fortunate.
Now, how many crew members do you have for the car?
On the Beachcomber, we have myself and 7 of the baddest ass dudes that have ever worked on cars. They're amazing.
What are their names?
Paulo Galli is a young man who he's the crew chief and the car chief. He basically comes over to my house, works on it, puts it together, and tunes it at the races. And then we have Wayne Pedroza. Wayne lives up in Tehachapi, California, which is about 4 hours from here. And when it's time to do car work, Wayne jumps in his old 67 Chevy big block wagon and hauls ass down here, and he's just amazing. I can't speak, enough good words about Wayne. Wayne's been racing with me since I started in alcohol stuff. Wayne's been with me for 20 years. He's like my crazy big brother. And then I got local guy Kevin Pierce. Kevin's a great mechanic. He thinks good. He's a good helper. I have former Top Fuel racer and funny car and AA gas racer Bob Dell from up in Danville, California. Bob comes and helps on the car. And a gentleman named Ed Thomas he's my fuel guy, mixes the fuel, helps on the bottom end. Then I have Mike McKinney, works on the right side cylinder head, and Mike's just a general badass. And he also keeps the golf car running, which is pretty critical in our deal. And Jimmy Curla does the clutch. And I think I got them all. And if I missed them, I'll bring them up later in the show.
Well, do you like to fix your own car?
What, the cars that I drive?
Yeah.
Daily?
Yeah. No,
just
any car.
I'll be honest with you. I would say I'm a middle of the road mechanic. I am a white collar type working guy. I love mechanical stuff. I'm not blessed with the best of talents, but I am blessed with talent. I can do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. So occasionally I will work on my own car, but I'll tell you, I got a guy here at home named Jeff Priest. Jeff's automotive. Jeff is Hudson fleet rolling when I can't do it.
So I'm guessing you don't like to get down and dirty.
Oh, I like to get down and dirty. I got 3 daughters, and I've been married almost 35 years. I get down and dirty. Make no mistake about it.
But I'm talking about the cars.
Oh, the car. I like a clean car. You know what I'm saying?
How about the wife?
The wife loves a clean car, and she does not work on her own car.
Okay. Continue, Dave.
So what was it like to get behind the wheel for the first time and go down a drag racetrack?
Probably like any other guy would tell you, and if they don't say it like this, they're lying. It scared the shit out of me, and it just made me want to do it more. You know, and I think that's the hook in this thing. It's the challenge of doing it.
Now, what was the difference between alcohol and nitro?
You know, the nitro car is a little louder, a little more sensory stuff going on, popping, banging, smoke, making noise. You know, they're both very, very fast machines. I also drove in top alcohol dragster before I put my second funny car together, and we ran that out here in Division 7, so I had a little experience from that also.
Now, for the Beachcomber, do you have any sponsors for the car?
You know, I really don't, but I have a lot of good people that kind of help us out and give us, you know, do some stuff. Not necessarily give us a ton of money or anything like that. The local Pontiac Buick GMC dealer Mark Borhone in Paso Robles helps us out. We've periodically had help from Cameron Everin at Redline Oil, and you know, Redline Oil's been something that's been on my car for many years. They make a killer product. Tom Harrington with Central Leasing's helped us out. The guys we buy parts from are really, you know, they do a hell of a job. Jeremy Everett and Brad Andersons and Andre and Donnie, and those guys are killer. And then over at Molinari Clutches, Bob Molinari does a great job for us. And Bill Miller Engineering does our connecting rods. He does good stuff. Chris Barker over at Alan Johnson Engineering. We get some parts from them, and Chris, he's our neighbor, so he delivers stuff to us, which is really cool. We run Goodyear tires. Mikey Cavallari hooks us up with spark plugs. It takes a lot of people to do this. You know, Darren Mayer up in Michigan makes my superchargers, and he does a real good job. Tom Cirillo down in LA does our ignition stuff. The Bonafonte brothers back east, we get clutch parts from them. It takes a lot of people to make one of these cars go at every level, no matter what kind of car it is. A lot of work, a lot of effort, lots of money spent.
So, what's the quickest runtime you've had with the Beachcomber?
The Beachcomber, we actually just had our fastest run at the Hot Rod Reunion. Beachcomber went through there at 583, and on that run, we were paired up against a guy that ran 576 or 577, and we had better incrementals. We broke a valve, so we figure we have a mid 570 race car now. So we learned something when that happened. we've gone. The Beachcomber went 256 and some change in a match race last year up in Sacramento. So it's it makes pretty good power and goes pretty fast.
Yeah, then of course at the Hot Rod reunion we had that terrible tragedy happen up there.
Yeah, that was gut wrenching. Brett Henry was an old. He'd raced Top Alcohol, and I'd known of him through that, and it's it's part of the deal, man. You strap yourself in these things, and anything can happen. But you try to minimize all that kind of stuff with good preparation at home, and sometimes things just happen, and my thoughts out to Brent's family.
All you can say is he died doing something he loved to do, though. Yeah, and that's a shame, and I hope no one ever has to say that about me, unless I'm sitting at a bar drinking some wine or a cocktail and I fall over. I don't want to die in my race car. Then we lost that little 8-year-old junior dragster girl the other day in Australia.
Yep. Yeah, that's just a horrible deal. I've seen bits and pieces of it online. I don't know what really happened, so I can't comment. I'm from the school that if you wanna race a car like this, you build it yourself with your own money, and you make the choice to do it yourself. I would never buy my kids a race car. My parents didn't buy me a race car. That might be a little shitty attitude, but you know what? That's how it is, and I think that's what makes my deal roll. We work hard and we do it by choice. It's just something we do.
Right.
So if your kids choose to race a car, you want to let them?
Oh, they can do. If they can pay for it, they can do it. And we've talked about it before. I have a little grandson named Logan Hudson, and he's out there listening, and he's 7.5 years old, and if one day he wants to do it, and he can earn some money and get it going, God bless him. It's just this. I don't know. I think that building these things is a real personal thing, and it's like if you have one handed to you, I don't think you appreciate what it takes to do this. And that's just my opinion, and take that for whatever it's worth.
That's cool.
Yeah, nitro is not a cheap thing to run. Yeah.
No, none of this stuff is cheap to run, man. There's a lot of my racing hero guys I grew up with, in Stockton, California. Guys like Wes King and Dennis Paz and Bob Pinella, and they ran carbureted stuff. It's expensive to do. It's just expensive to go racing, But you can't find anything better. The people are so great. Most of the guys we've run against over the years, I have more friendships from my racing adventures than I do, other things in life. The people are just really good people,
So where do you purchase your nitromethane from?
I get my nitromethane from the legend Dale Polby. He sells nitro, and he takes real good care of us, so we buy our nitro through him.
Now, how many events have you ran so far this year?
The year's over, and we ran 2 events, and we ran our car 6 times total during the year. We did more testing than we did racing this year. Paulo and I sat down and we
decided that we need to be out there testing, and until we can get the race car running where it needs to be, that's just what we're going to do. And we tested 3 weekends in a row before the Hot Rod reunion, and it paid off. We hadn't run for shit before then, and we went up to that deal, and we made full passes, 5-second runs every run, and got qualified, and had to go up against arguably the baddest funny car in the business, Mr. Bucky Austin, and I red lit. He spotted me a 6-car head start, and he still beat me like a drum. So, they're pretty awesome.
So, what on a weekend for drag racing? What goes into preparation for you?
What mentally,
physically, and
or just
everything? Getting the car ready. How do you prepare for the whole weekend?
I have a little shop here at the house, and the race car gets its own little space, and we meticulously go over the car much in advance of the race. Usually the weekend before a race is almost just getting it loaded and putting in the trailer and getting all our supplies and things that we need to, feed the crew and keep the guys comfortable and all that stuff.
So you guys barbecue at the track?
Yeah, this last deal, Hot Rod reunion, we busted out the barbecue, and the guys really liked it. I made some killer pork ribs and tri-tip one night, and they were pretty satisfied customers.
So what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Oh man, Bakersfield's pretty hard to beat. We live like 2 hours from there, and the Bowser family does a wonderful job prepping it and keeping it ready. Over the years, I've ran at Pomona. I think for me, running at the U.S. Nationals at Indianapolis was pretty exciting because it was something I always wanted to do as a driver. And we went back there a couple years in a row with our alcohol funny car in the 2005, 2006. And it ran pretty good. We had some fun. Pretty hard to beat that.
Now, do you prefer the 1/8 mile or a 1/4 mile?
I've never raced 1/8 mile, to be honest with you. I've always ran 1/4 mile stuff, so maybe one day, we'll get to do something that's 1/8 mile.
So where do you get your fire suit made from, Don?
Dennis Taylor builds my fire suit, and he supplies all my safety equipment out of the, I believe he calls it the World Center of Safety in McMinnville, Oregon. And DT's a pretty badass dude. And he's a recovering racer also. And him and his son have a nitro funny car that's pretty cool.
In your whole career, have you had any accidents or near accidents?
Oh yeah. I've had a couple accidents, and I've had near accidents. In our alcohol dragster, I think it was back in 2002. Had a motor expire near the finish line at Sonoma, and wadded up the car pretty good. That was pretty crazy. Just last year up at Boise with the Nitro Funny car, the parachutes failed to
to open at the end of a run, and it took a quarter-mile run into the field past the finish line and tore the whole front end off the car. That was pretty interesting. It's all part of the deal.
So let me ask you, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh man, I like it all. I like a nice steak, like a good pizza, tacos. Man, I live on tacos. All kinds of stuff.
So what's your favorite dish that your wife makes?
That's a great question. My wife, bless her heart, she'll tell you she doesn't like to cook, but she makes a killer lasagna, and she's not too shabby on the barbecue either.
What's your favorite drink, non-alcoholic or alcoholic?
Oh,
Besides wine.
I'm sitting here. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I'm sitting here right now because I live in San Luis Obispo County, California, which is arguably some of the best wine in the world. And I'm sitting here right now drinking a glass of Tobin James Chateau Le Cashflow, which is a red blend wine. Drinking a little liquid courage, as Dave says, to do an interview with you guys. So I like a good glass of red wine. I'm also enjoying, little vodka cocktail if the time's right.
Okay. How about non-alcoholic drink?
Non-alcoholic drinks. There's Red Bull, but
Okay.
it's got to be sugar-free. Sugar-free.
I like Monster.
Monster's pretty crazy. I have two hairs on the back of my neck, and if I drink Monster, it makes both of them stand up. So I stay away from that stuff.
No, I like the black can with the green in it. With the green Monster.
There you go.
I don't like
That's
the
good stuff.
other Monsters. I drink Red Bull sometimes too. It's good.
What about
What about
what
what?
about drag racing? What about drag racing T-shirts? Do you guys like drag racing T-shirts?
Oh, I love drag racing t-shirts.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we get done, I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you guys a couple. And man, there is nothing better than some of the good old-fashioned drag racing T-shirts.
Okay.
My favorite one. Oh, my favorite one I love to wear is "Give me head till I'm dead." And it's got Jim right above head. So that's probably my favorite shirt to wear. It's not really one you want to wear to church, but it's just a good shirt.
I don't go to church. I only go to church when there's weddings, baptism, or funerals. Or if
Hey,
I'm...
you must be Catholic then. Good for you.
I'm not Catholic. I'm Christian. It's just something. It's just my personal thing. If I want to believe in God, I believe in God. I pray before I go to sleep. I pray when I wake up, and I pray before we eat, and I pray before I drive the car, and I light a candle every day.
I like that. That's awesome. That's I'm a big believer, and I've got at the races my buddy Matt Miller from Racers for Christ. Almost every time before I run, he sticks his hand in the car, and we do a little prayer, and just makes you feel good. You know?
Oh yeah. Every time I go to track, I pray for every single driver.
Yep.
Okay,
That's a good thing to do. That's a good thing to do. Who's you guys' favorite racers out there? Who do you guys like?
Huh?
Baz Young.
Baz Young.
Doc Holliday.
I was pitted right next to Bays at
Baz
the
Young.
Hot Rod Reunion. They're great people, man.
Doc Holliday.
Okay.
Who else? Chicago Wise guys. It's
Pro Mods.
Pro Mods here.
Pro Mod group we have over here.
What's your guys' home track right there?
We got
Great Lakes Dragway.
Great Lakes Dragway. We got Joliet 66. We got Cordova. We got
Byron.
Byron. There's another one. The one in
Man, you
Rockford.
You guys live right in the middle of all the good racing. You're blessed, man.
We have like 6 or 7 or 8, 9, 10 racetracks here. I can't keep track of all of them. There's like 10 racetracks around us.
Yeah, you should try to come up to the legendary Great Lakes Dragway sometime.
Now is that 8th mile or is it half?
Quarter mile.
Quarter mile.
Maybe one day. You never know.
It's in Union Grove, Wisconsin.
Okay. All right.
And now I have a good question. Now, if you were given $150 million, let's make it 15. Let's make it $1 trillion. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Wait.
Okay.
No. Actually, it's not. $1 trillion is not a lot of money. No. Oh no. 1 billion. 1 billion. 1 billion. 1 billion is not a lot of money. So if you were given $1 billion to build a big ass racetrack with all the features and everything in it, where would you build it?
What kind of features?
And what kind of features would it have?
I would definitely try to build it somewhere in California. I would try to build it somewhere
Where it don't have racetracks, right?
Close to sea level.
Yeah.
I would. I would set it up so it had like the downtown Disney walk at the racetrack.
Okay.
Restaurants, shops, hotel, bars, the whole deal.
But remember, it's only $1 billion. It's not a lot of money to do all that with.
Oh, I know. Got to go crazy. Got to do what you can do.
You could actually build one hotel there for the racers, and you could build like 3 or 4 restaurants. Build a 2-mile, 3-mile racetrack there. You could add probably 10,000 or 100,000 seats there for 100,000 people.
Yep.
And you could build a.
You know what I would build in my racetrack. I would build like a half to 3/4 mile shutdown area, so professional race cars could go back to running a full quarter mile.
Okay.
I quit becoming a fan of professional racing when they went to 1,000 foot. It doesn't do anything for me anymore. It's like it doesn't make sense.
You mean NASCAR, right?
But drag racing.
NHRA.
Professional drag racing is 1,000 foot now, and it's for the fuel categories, and it's,
Yeah.
and I understand why they did it, but it just doesn't make sense for me, and so that's why I continue to be a supporter of alcohol racing and pro mods and anything with the supercharger. As far as I'm concerned, or nitro is badass. That's where you need to be.
Yes.
Yeah, the NHRA is almost getting as bad as NASCAR now.
Yeah, it's a shame what it's come to. I mean, I saw some of the stuff, how the season ended, and I don't know. I wish they'd go back to a season-long point format. There's been some great racers over the years. One of the Tim Wilkerson years ago, he crushed them all year long up until the countdown, and he would have been world champ in a regular point system, and that was a man that deserves a world championship. He's a racer's racer.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Now, back to that drag race track, would you put a covered roof over the grandstand for the fans to stay out of the sun?
Absolutely. Why not? Make make it so it's comfortable. Make it almost like a baseball or football game where there's guys rolling up and down the stands selling beer and hot dogs and snacks and
Or
make it.
wait. You know the Family Guy episode? You know Family Guy? You watch Family Guy?
I have before.
You know,
But don't tell anybody.
how Peter goes, back scratchers, back scratchers, back scratchers.
Yep. Or the big foam fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing besides real estate?
Well, real estate's my job, so that's what I do to pay the bills. I have a handful of old cars. I'm into, believe it or not, Corvairs, the rear engine, air cooled, slowest car ever made. But they're not slow, you know. My crew chief Paulo, him and his family are big into them, and I've got a couple of them that are one that's really hopped up, has 4 carbs, magneto, suspension stuff. It's fun to drive. I have an amazing guitar collection, and
Wait,
I'm
you play in a band?
into music. No, God, no. I like the equipment. It reminds me, some of it reminds me of race car stuff. It's
Motor.
shiny. It's just trick. So
You like metal?
love metal.
Favorite band?
I'm an '80s guy. I like Dawkins. That was one of my favorite bands back
Okay.
then.
Okay, you and Dave are best friends
Rat.
now. Wrath?
What's
Rat.
that?
Rat?
R.I.T.
I like Rat.
Yeah.
Rat was.
Cinderella, Molly.
Man,
Cinderella?
there's so many of them.
Cinderella, Motley Crue.
Yep.
You and Dave are best friends now.
What's that?
You and Dave are best friends.
Oh, but I like it all too. I like 70s rock. I like love the Stones.
I mean, Dave
I just-
Dave loves Dawkins too.
Oh, Dawkins, one of the most underrated bands ever.
Mm-hmm.
Rockin' with Dawkins, Don Dawkins. I'll tell you, you know who else rocks?
Who?
Is my man Joe Walla, the Joe Walla band.
Yeah, I heard of him.
That guy, he's badass. He's my guy.
Cool. Well, me being born in 1980, I'm a thrash metal baby.
I have Vans tennis shoes older than you.
I know. Okay, now, if you
That's
were
okay.
if you were given an opportunity to go back in time, where would you go and what would you change?
Man, that's a deep question. There's
Yes.
where would I go? What would I change? Well, without getting too sentimental and soupy, I'm a parent that lost a child,
Oh shit.
so I would go back to that time and when my son died, see if I could have changed whatever was going on, but that's or I just try to you want to try to make the world a better place. That's whatever it is.
I'm sorry your son died.
Well, thank you. That's one of those things. That was a long time ago. He would have been 32 years old this year.
Damn. He would have
Yep.
been between my two sisters' ages.
Yep.
Well, because one of my sister's 30, the other one's 34, I think. She's 33 or 34. I don't know. Okay, where's your favorite vacation spot? Your house? You don't go anywhere? Like Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Bora Bora, Jamaica?
No, we live in arguably what is one of the most beautiful places in the world right here, and I work like 5 minutes from the ocean, and it's pretty hard to beat here. I like living where I live, and spend a lot of time here in the county. There's driving up and down Highway 1. It's pretty awesome. Pretty hard to beat.
Do you guys go to LA a lot?
Yeah, believe it or not, one of my daughters. I have three daughters. My middle daughter goes to college. She's in a master's nursing program down in Irvine, California. Hi, Haley, if you're listening. So, yeah, we go. I was just down there this past weekend for the World Finals, and I stopped by the races and for a couple days and hung out with my old friend Steve Gasparelli and Bob Miner and watched some racing and had a good time.
That's cool. So you said you had 3 daughters and a son. So my mom had 3 daughters and a boy, but my brother's 21. He's in the hospital right now, having some sort of health issue.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
No, it's because of a girl he slept with.
That's a lot of information, sister.
I know. I'm sorry I said that. It just slipped. No, it's nothing like that. No, he's just sick. I don't know. How can people get panic attacks when it's not in their blood, it's not in their DNA? That's what my question is. How do people get panic attacks?
Well, no, you need to ask Dr. Phil, not Dr. Don. Dr. Don doesn't know the answer to that one.
I'm not asking Dr. Don. So, by the ocean,
yeah.
So, how far away you live from the ocean?
Oh, I live like 20 minutes away from it, and I work like 5 minutes from it. So, it's a pretty sweet deal.
But doesn't the weather or the earthquakes scare you over there?
Oh, no. We live for that kind of stuff.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, nah.
As long as...
There's more earthquakes in other parts of the world than there are here.
Yeah, the earthquake that hit Iran and Iraq. Iraq never had earthquakes before.
See?
Iraq never had earthquakes before. They're just starting to get earthquakes. What the fuck? It's all because of North Korea's fault. Sorry. What's your fondest memory in drag racing?
Well, probably my fondest memory in drag racing is meeting Dar Hawthorne. Dar just means the world to me. He's just a good dude. And then other than that, I was lucked out a couple times and won a couple Wallies in my alcohol dragster, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know. That's second to meeting Dar Hawthorne, and just he friended me. He friended me on Facebook, so I felt very fortunate that he considers me a friend on social media.
So, Don, let me ask you, how many awards do you have?
Oh, I've got a couple awards. Got a nice plaque from racing photographer Dave Smith. One year we were #1 qualifier at the Winter Nationals, and it happened to be the year that NHRA pulled out of paying. They used to pay you a little bonus and give you a little something for being #1 qualifier. And that year, Mark White and myself. Mark White happens to, he's the fellow that drives the crop duster. Him and I